Hi Queens, Sam here. I hope that you're doing good. Today I want to share with you 3 hacks that I think will fast track your journey to wealth, your wealth building, literally. And I want to share those because people talk about them, but sometimes not so much. And I think they're golden. They are golden. I've heard of them at different point, I guess, in my own journey. And honestly, I think I would have loved to know about those hacks 15 years ago or 20 years ago when I really kind of like started my own journey of building wealth. And so the first thing is essentially house hacking. So, house hacking, what does that mean? That means you leveraging your house to your asset and making money of it. And it can take different forms. The most common is, let's say, if you all have an apartment or like a house, you have 3 bedrooms. You don't really need to have those 3 bedrooms. You live in 1 bedroom and then you rent out the other 2 bedrooms. It could be long-term rental, medium-term rental, or like you Airbnb those 2 bedrooms. Essentially, you are leveraging those 2 bedrooms and making money. So most of the time people who do that, that can help them reduce their own expenses when it comes to housing, pay down their mortgage. And for some, literally they're living free in their own house because they're making so much money renting those bedrooms or whichever that they're renting in their house, and so they don't really need to put any money of their own. So that free up financial capacity on their end to be able to do something else, whether it is invest, whether it is save the money to be able to buy another property that they're going to rent. But when you know that housing cost is one of the highest expense that most people have, anything that you can find to reduce that housing cost will help you save more money and essentially have more money that you can actually dedicate to your wealth building. So keep that in mind. House hacking, first hack. Second hack is geographical arbitrage. And I'm saying that slow because I sometimes stumble on the word geographical. So the second hack is geographical arbitrage or remote. So essentially that means that you decide on purpose to live in a lower cost of living city. In this day and age where more companies allow people to work remotely, that means that you can actually have your company maybe in a higher cost of living city, but you don't need to live in that city. You can live in another city where essentially it's much cheaper, expenses are lower for housing, transportations, and groceries, and then you can actually maybe afford much more living in that lower cost of living city than in a higher cost of lower city. So keep that in mind, take advantage of that. And usually it's not, you don't have to do it forever. Like you can do it for 5 years and save a chunk of money, and then invest that whatever goal that you have in mind. And you may do that again, or if really you miss living in a higher cost of living city, you can move back after the 5 years. But that will already give you a good start in your journey, or like a boost during your journey to building wealth. Now, I know that everything is not only about money when it comes to choosing where you want to live. You have to keep in mind also whether you have family in that higher cost of living city, in terms of amenities that you have, all the things that you have available. But it's something to definitely you can consider. And like I say, it doesn't have to be forever. It could be a couple of years, 5 years. So it's definitely, you have to be uncomfortable. And even when I say uncomfortable, it's not so much uncomfortable, it's maybe like a little sacrifice in terms of your wants, thing that you really want for a few years, for the best, right? To be able to actually fast track your wealth building journey. So that's the second hack. The third hack is essentially getting into a higher paying job. So if I had to redo it again, go back to university when I was in my early 20s, I'll definitely be more strategic about the studies that I wanted to do, and making sure that essentially it's going to be helping me to get into a job that is a high paying job. So I'm talking jobs like engineer, like accountant, lawyer. Granted, those jobs usually requires a lot of years of studies and dedication. However, once you're done, you actually reap the benefits for life. And At the end of the day, the more gap you can create between your income and your expenses, the better it is, because that will definitely help you save more money, just be more prepared for, to cover your expenses, and definitely being able to put more money toward your wealth building. So you need to keep that in mind. And even when we talk about high paying job, some jobs are annual salary, some jobs are hourly. So if you're on an hourly salary, to me that's great, because that means that each hour that you put into the job, you get paid for it. And when you hit a certain number of hours, when you go over that certain number of hours, then you get paid overtime work. I'm not praising overtime work, but I'm saying if you have to do overtime, at least you're getting paid for it. And usually it's like one and a half or sometimes two times whatever you get on your regular regular hourly salary. So you can make a lot of money that way. When you're an annual salary, I think the strategy needs to be a bit different. The idea here is not to work more, because even if you work 45 hours a week versus 20 hours a week, you get paid the same. So you need to be strategic and really see how you can accomplish your job in the least amount of time, because if you do your job within 20 hours instead of 40 hours, then that frees up 20 hours that you can dedicate to something else. Maybe you want to get a side job, maybe you're working on a personal project that is going to be bringing you more money. So again, keep that in mind. So when we talk about a high income job, also we need to drill down a little bit and see, am I paid annually? Okay, this is the strategy that I should be having. Am I paid hourly? Okay, maybe this is the strategy that I should be having. So that's that. So there you have it. So 3 hacks that, to me, again, I think they're like golden when it comes to building wealth. So the first one, again, house hacking. The second one, geographical arbitrage. And then the third one, a high income paid job. Here is the bonus hack for you. And I want to share that because I read an article that said the complete opposite, and I was livid. I'm like, I cannot believe that they actually giving that kind of recommendation to young people today. That article said that for young people getting to a high income paid job, because essentially their income is going to be increasing regularly, and get to 6 figures, whatever, down the road, that they did not need to save that much in their early 20s. And to me, that is a wrong advice to give, and I'm gonna tell you why. The bonus hack that I want to share with you is that it's really important on your wealth journey, and to be able to stay committed to your wealth journey, to build your saving muscle as early as possible. And when I say as early as possible, I'm saying in your teens year, in your early adulthood, because when you already use it's normal to you to be actually saving. It doesn't matter how much. It could be $10, it could be 100, it could be 1,000. It really doesn't matter how much. But when you have that, just like it's really normal for you to do that when you're young, when your income increases, it's easy for you to continue savings, to continue investing, and even increase how much you're saving and investing. It's much harder to do that in your 30s or 40s, when honestly you haven't done it in your 20s. If you used to be spending the money in your 20s, and then yes, your income is increasing, and then you get in your 30s, but you haven't really, you don't have that habit of being like, okay, I'm spending, but I'm also making sure that I'm actually saving, and I'm making sure that I'm actually investing, that I'm building, I'm building a net worth and all of those things. It's really hard to pick up on that habit in your 30s and 40s, because usually those years are really the years that most people will actually have the biggest expenses, whether it is buying a house, buying a car, having kids. So it's a lot of expenses. So if you don't have that habit already, it's really hard. So I'll put a link to the article in the description below and have you read it for yourself. And I'm curious to know what are your thoughts. You don't have to agree with me, but for me, I felt like that was not the right advice to give. We should not be telling people don't save when you're making so much money and then start saving when you're making so much money. It's not like a switch. It's hard when it's not something that you just used to do. It's hard for people to start doing it, and that's what causes people to live above their means and being in debt all the time and not being able to save for retirement and just provide for the family. And we don't want that. There is no way you're going to be building wealth that way. right? So there you have it. If you enjoy again the video this time, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for the next time I'm sharing a video with you, and looking forward to sharing more with you on my channel in the next weeks. Until next time, keep on building wealth.